Good morning.
What's up? Good morning. It is Talent Talk time. Happy
Yes,
Monday.
this is Monday, March 29th. This is Talent Talk. This is where we talk a little bit of shop. We talk about real estate. We talk with an affiliate, get you a little more information to keep you the most informed you could possibly be. I am Jurgen Robinson, and this is, and this
I'm on the
is,
other side. I'm on the other side of you this morning. So I'm Davina Clarity, and just really excited for us being in another week. This is the last week of March.
yeah, can you believe it?
No,
I mean, we're
but we
right.
gotta believe it.
Well, it's already spring. Spring has sprung. We're there right now. Everything is just incredible as far as I'm changing the sky in the background to let it be a little bit bluer. I like that. So, but it darkened me up just a little bit.
You are darker. You're getting
Yeah.
closer to my color right now.
Oh, well, only on one side.
Oh man. Well, today we are going to talk about financial health overall. And we're really going to dive into a specific company that we have that we're excited to talk a little bit more and learn a little bit more. We're going to be educated today a little bit better than we were when we started. But we have a trivia question before we get into it.
Yeah.
You want to tackle the trivia question?
Oh, absolutely. I'll get a running start at it. According to a survey on estate planning, what percentage of adults in the U.S. currently have a will or living trust that will hold up when challenged in court?
Oh, wow.
A, 33%, B, 62%, C, 55%, or D, 25%.
That's going to be a guesser for many people. And I would say probably.
Not for me.
You know what? And we'll talk a little bit more about that. And we'll have Magen Financial might chime in on this question as well, because it's interesting.
Yeah.
See how many of us are really prepared.
I think a guest like this is really important for what we do in real estate, but also a lot of other industries where you have independent contractors that, from a tax standpoint, things need to be set aside. You may not have a 401k. You may not have a retirement plan. Healthcare, you're on your own to try to find all the healthcare options, having supplementals, like having a resource or someone who can help you walk through this whole process can be, I'm not going to say it is, but it can be really difficult as an independent contractor. And this is what a lot of real estate agents find themselves in, right?
Yeah. And it could be super overwhelming because there's so many choices out there. So how do you know what is the right choice for you and your family or your situation? So this is a really good way to get the full breadth and understanding of what's important. And Magen Financial is going to help us to do that. So without further ado, we are going to bring in our guests. So we have this company, they've been doing insurance for years, but they've just actually brought some new things into our area, into the state of Washington, which, and we're going to dive into what's different about them as well. But we are going to bring on Rob and Karyn, and they both have a heart for helping people and small businesses. And we're going to hear their story, and we're going to learn more about how we can gain some financial health, some health with we're talking about even legacy, that we're doing things for our family. And without further ado, I'm just going to stop talking. Let's bring on Rob and Karyn with Magen Financial.
We had an abrupt stop right there.
Yeah, it was. And I missed the harbor. I just had Magen on my mind. and I missed the Magen Harbor Financial. So welcome, you guys. Happy Monday. Thank you so much for joining us on this day. And I keep saying there's so much to learn, and there's so much to learn. And there's so many questions that we have, and we don't have like endless time. So let's like just diving in. So you guys literally started this insurance company together. And you have a variety of services that we've been talking about that serves a variety of needs. Why don't you just give us a little bit of history about why you started an insurance business, and what services do you guys actually provide?
Well, like most business owners, we started out to make money and to provide ourselves with time freedom. But what we were seeing was that there wasn't a lot of insurance companies that were really providing that full palette of services, but personalizing the painting for each client, for that life picture. They would go the other direction. Either they provide all the services, or there'll be the little guy and they'll have a few services and very, very personalized, but not really get the whole group of services available. And because of that, working with small businesses and providing those employee benefits quickly became our niche. And that's kind of how we got to where we are. We started out not really knowing what niche would happen, and it became obvious really quickly. Anyway, that full palette thing is just a repeat of what we were doing in Illinois with insurance, and over here in Washington, you don't see that. You don't see that one-on-one client care, and we just have people beating down the door. So
yeah, Karyn, I like that. Sometimes we feel like before we get started on anything, we have to know exactly what the plan is going to be, exactly who we're going to serve, exactly. We have this picture perfect vision before we even get started, and that's not the way life normally works. As you get started, things start to become self-evident of where your niche is going to be, who the people you're going to serve the most are going to be. So how has that from the spot where you guys started, like that there's a need and you can kind of fill this in a unique way, how did you go from wanting to serve a lot of different things to understanding what your niche is going to be? And what do you really feel that niche is? Is it the small business community? And either you or Rob could take that question.
Absolutely. Small business. We were already doing small business specialty stuff in Illinois, and employee benefits especially, because we have the aggregator opportunities that allow us to bring 400 plus companies, 10,000 plus products to the table, yet still provide that individual service to each client, and open programs, so that, and I know that doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but Washington State does not do that. Open groups, or very rarely do you find open group plans in employee benefits, and being able to walk into an employer and say, we can make you look like a rock star at no cost to you, and we can help you keep your employees.
Yeah. And you mentioned something. You said an aggregator. And I know this is probably right in line with one of the questions we have here. And maybe Rob wants to tackle this one of, what is an aggregator? I mean, how is that different? Is that a differentiator for what you guys do compared to other people?
Yeah. So most of the insurance agents, like you see on companies, the State Farms and the Allstates, they're captured agencies. And so they don't have the ability to offer you products that are outside of their portfolio. They have to offer what's only inside their portfolio, and they can only answer certain questions. We can customize a solution that will fit your needs, your dreams, and your goals a lot more effectively than if it was one company. So that's, the ability to use an aggregator is the ability to go out and get those companies that handle maybe a little bit different, like legal insurance or identity theft, things that are a little bit different, or maybe it's indemnification. There's a lot of people that don't understand the indemnification model. So, and what that is, just to explain that a little bit, is the ability to have money for when your deductible high. You want a high deductible to make your insurance as little as possible, and then an indemnification plan can fit those things. If you have a low deductible, you don't necessarily need an indemnification plan, but if you have a high one, it sure helps.
So, and I
one of our trivia questions.
So I know Divina's got the next question, but what you're saying then is that you can create a plan as opposed to somebody that has to sell a line of products and that's all they have. You
Right.
can create a plan for me that's as unique as I am for my own needs, right?
Right. Yeah. It's not cookie cutter. And that's, we have a bunch of questions we ask, that helps us find out what you really want. And then we do a lot of listening because that isn't done in this industry. They've got these products to sell and they sell these products and then they go, okay, we're done selling you our stuff. And then you go to somebody who really knows what they're talking about. And I mean, there's a lot of good companies out there, but then, I spend a lot of time, for lack of a better definition, customizing plans for individuals.
Yeah, this is so good because it does really lead into the question. So, understanding how you guys are different, which you've explained from other insurance companies. And Jurgen, we talked about this just in the beginning, independent contractors, we just kind of, oh yeah, we're on our own. Let's go, and don't really plan. We just kind of tackle what's in front of us. And then when something happens, we're like, oh, wow, what do we do? And that really, most independent contractors kind of go with that. Okay, it's not a problem until it's a problem. And insurance is, business owners and independent contractors really struggle with that. And you were talking about, some of the things. I was on your website and just like the list of all of the things from estate planning, life insurance, home and auto, ID theft, retirement, college planning, disability, vision, health, Medicare supplements. It's like, whoa, my brain is about to explode with all of the different things. So, if just me, Joe Blow, Jane Blow, whatever, if I were to be in a position to look for insurance, like say I have some coverage and I have coverage I've had for 20 years and never changed it. I don't even know what it is. And now I'm in a place where, I just need to feel like I'm understanding what I need and what I have and if it's adequate. What are some things that we should consider when we're looking for insurance?
That's a good question. The answer that I give everybody on this question is kind of tongue in cheek at first. Is what's the most important thing, and what's the important thing? It's the insurance you need right now. If you have your home burns down, you don't need life insurance right now. You need the home insurance. If you have a hospitalization, you're not so interested in home insurance. But the truth is, you got to start somewhere and kind of go through the whole plan for your life. I tell people to start with life insurance because that can make up for some of the other losses if some of those happen, and then then look for your plan. But I think one of the most important things is, again, you got to listen to the customer and understand what their life is. If they don't have any kids, you're not going to put a college plan in place or something like that, or you're not going to have as much insurance, depending on your situation, as you would have, so that your spouse can take care of those kids and have those things provided. But you have to listen to the customer and work with them to develop a plan that is specific and really tailored to them and customized completely to them, because everybody's different. And I think what happens in the industry, keep on going back to that, is it's cookie cutter solutions, and cookie cutter solutions just don't do well, especially, like Karyn said, especially in employee benefits. If you think about the benefits, and you have one health insurance, one life insurance, one, it's just not the right solution. So you want to find somebody who can sit down with you and tailor the solution to you.
Yeah. I was wildly gesticulating because you asked who's the most important. I'm like, I am.
That's right. That's right.
But with what you're talking about, what's interesting about that is you have your company's name is Magen Harbor Financial. So, financial is not necessarily just insurance. One of the things I think is unique also about you is you cover so very much. And it's not necessarily like we were having conversation. This isn't about selling something. If you've got great, say, auto insurance, you're not there to try to convert somebody into a different policy. But because you deal with so many different things, you can help, like Davina was asking, you can help somebody understand if they're in a good position in certain things. But because you don't just sell one product line or one product area, you can help them get a fuller picture. So normally insurance, they just deal with insurance. You want to talk to somebody about, or health insurance. But if you want to talk to somebody about your car insurance or the business insurance, you have to talk to someone over here. And if you want to talk to someone about your financial planning, your financial health, you have to talk to somebody else. You can be a really good guide for what you guys do. You can be a really good guide to the full picture. Why was that important to you to be able to do? Because most people are really, they just take that one spot and they plant their flag there only.
Being able to connect the dots for people. Sometimes just being able, if they say, well, we've got Allstate Auto and XYZ homeowners insurance, and we've got a life insurance from my husband's old work, and what do we do with this mess? Somebody just being able to, because that's reality. Being able to just say, take this, and we can bundle the home and auto together. And right there, what I mean by bundling is maybe we're going to move the home in the home insurance into the same company as the auto insurance, and we're going to save you $1,600 a year just by making that same move. Did either one of those two companies tell you that? No, because they want to keep their existing policy and they don't want to run the risk of being the one that is lost. But I just look at which way to move it, and we bundle those two together. We look at we just do a review of you and how can we position these things together. One of the things that we hear all the time is investing. I don't have money to start investing. How do I get started? And I go, that's what we do. We review what you've got in place and we wiggle it around. We connect the dots for you. And I just did one for a very insurance savvy person and found them over 4 figures in money that they were already spending. And I mean, I don't know about you, but that's money out of my wallet that I could invest. I mean, that's a significant amount of money.
I need a new TV.
There you go. And they said, okay, well, that amount.
Well, and that was annually. So it's a TV this year, it's a generator next year, whatever you need. It's something that comes
for those hard Washington winners.
Yeah, well, I like to use the words that Karyn says from time to time. We help you do you.
Right.
Yeah.
Just say, do you, boo, right?
Do you, boo.
I mean, I think people don't want to have to stay up all night and study the insurance manual. They don't, you got enough life going on. And there's simple little ways to connect the dots for people, and run a little budget and bundle things together. And, they just don't know those little loops. And that's what we're here to be able to do.
Yeah. And for independent contractors, if we can save you money over here and it allows you to buy the right health insurance for you, why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
And that's really the thing that you can, I don't know.
Yeah.
You just want to do those things for the customer.
Well, and turning it over to Davina here, but, sometimes it's not about even quote unquote saving money. Sometimes it's about having somebody to trust that can walk you through this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really, that's a good point. Because there's a ton of options that are out there. And like you mentioned, being able to customize a plan for someone, and the plan might not just be an insurance plan or a financial plan, but a whole plan. And, savings that you mentioned, what do I do if I don't have any money, to save? Well, it's like just saying, well, let's look at your full picture and let's see how much money you really do have, right, and what we can do to get. So I really love that. Here's, thinking about, insurance, maybe specifically, or a service, specific, whether it's your insurance or a service, whether it's savings plan or whatnot, outside of, if you own a home, you're likely to have homeowners insurance, right? And if you own a car, you're likely to have auto insurance.
You better.
You better, right? I mean, those are kind of like, okay, those are like the obvious ones. What would you say, outside of those two big ones that most people will shop, or at least have a good idea about, what would you say would be the most important service or insurance that you would say, you know what, everyone should have this? Like, this should be the staple. Is there one that comes to mind?
And that's back to my tongue-in-cheek comment before, the one you need right now.
Yeah.
But I think the most important is life insurance, because through life insurance and the proper structure of a life insurance plan for your family, a lot of those other things can be covered. For instance, a lot of people are unaware that you can get, you can transfer, like an example is, I had a young man that needed some different options with his retirement money. But his retirement money was tied up till he's 65, or it was a 20% penalty to pull it out. So we put him in a life insurance policy that allowed him to borrow against that. So he could literally have access to that cash right now at the borrowing rate that was right now, instead of the penalties, 20% penalty and then, some other fee. So he could borrow that money at a rate that was very reasonable. It was something like 1.8 or something like that for whatever the policy was offering. And then he was able to meet the need he had at that point in time for his family. And things like that, people aren't even aware of. Not to get political, but when the senators and Congress people structure the laws, the rest of us very rarely understand the full meaning of what that law is. But all the senators and congressmen, they know exactly what it means, and they do those things with their family. And, wouldn't it be nice for you to take a loan out at 1 point something rather than 3 point something to either, buy a house or buy a car, and then you can pay it back, or you don't have to pay it back and you just get, the interest piled on. But those type of things people don't understand because they're not in the industry. And we can do those types of things with life insurance. So it's the flexibility of what you can accomplish with it that's really the most important piece.
That's good. And that was actually starting to touch on the financial aspect of what you do. And the only area I disagree is I often think that the laws and different things get passed without people knowing the implications down the road. There's a perception and the initial thought of what it's going to serve, but often it's that unintended consequence that you guys have to help fill in the gaps on. That's really good. And that's why it's so nice to have somebody that understands that. With the financial aspect, like you didn't call yourself Magen Harbor Insurance. I'm sure there's a purpose. And also when I looked at the name the first time, I said, that's not how you spell Megan. What does Magen Harbor Financial mean to you? From why Magen Harbor of all things?
So Megan is the Hebrew word for shield. Harbor, obviously safe harbor. We really believe that our job is to protect you from life's circumstances and to create that safe harbor for your ship to sail in when the seas get rough. And so
you're the calm port for us all.
That's right.
That's pretty cool. Nice. That is really nice. So I know we're getting closer to our time. Do you guys have any stories that come to mind as you've had dealings with a lot of different people and different plays of life? I know you shared one thing, Rob, about one client that you helped. Any warm and fuzzies or anything that comes to mind about the services or the people that you've impacted?
Yeah, you can't describe really how important your services are until somebody needs them.
Right.
I usually, and I'm going to be personal. I'll give you two examples. The first one.
We want you to be whole. We want you to be whole. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
We want you to be whole, not term.
So, about 2 years ago, I had a life experience. And luckily, Karyn had sold me a plan that not only made me whole, but gave me extra money that I could spend during a catastrophic situation that happened in my life. Had I not had it, I had enough money, it paid me enough to pay my high deductible, because I choose a high deductible because I understand indemnity and some other things. But it not only paid me the money to cover that deductible, but it gave me an extra lump sum that was more than enough to handle the unexpected things that you weren't aware would happen during that period, whether it's loss of work or something else in that frame of mind. It's just important.
It kept your family going.
Yeah.
When it was able to keep the family going.
Yeah. And so that's my personal story, and I'm forever grateful to Karyn for filling that gap. And the other example I'll use happened in Utah. where an older lady that became very good friends with our whole family. So, I mean, we ate Thanksgiving dinner over there after this experience. When I went out and talked to her, I just shared with her how to protect her home. And she came down with a catastrophic illness. And during that time was not having to make any house payments because of the arrangements we made with her. And then when she came out of the hospital, she had the audacity. She was a young 80 years old. Sorry, not 80 degrees.
That's hot.
Yeah, right. She was hot, and she had some years on her. But anyway, when she had the audacity to recover fully, and her home and her lifestyle was able to be maintained. Those are the things that we can't, you can't buy that, like MasterCard price, it's priceless to us and very fulfilling that we were able to accomplish things like that. Now, in her case, believe it or not, it was something that she just purchased, less than 2 years. But there's a lot of cases where younger people, they think they're gonna, I was one too, right? Superman, I'm a guy, 6'2", 220. I think I can conquer the world. And but things happen, and you got to protect yourself. You got to protect your family. And so that's a good question, though.
Yeah. In wrapping here, there's a lot that you cover, and there's no way that we can condense everything that you're able to cover in just a little conversation like this. But if somebody's interested in contacting you, and before you answer this, like, how are they going to do it? But also, one of the things I think why some people hesitate to reach out is because they don't want to be sold. They don't want to be told that what you're doing is necessarily wrong. I don't want to necessarily change. But you know what? If there's something there, sometimes they like to be affirmed that the things that they're doing are actually good. And you might consider this down the road. So first, how would somebody get in touch with you? But second, if somebody does reach out, what should they expect? I mean, is this about selling them something, or how can you help somebody that reaches out to you?
I believe that they're going to drop a link in the chat, but we made a website that's just for John L. Scott, and it's a whole shopping. There it is. It's a whole shopping website of all of our products, so they can go and look at what's available and contact us. So that you don't have to feel that pressure, and the things that you can buy online, you can do that and look through and get educated on things without having to feel like somebody's right there. And if you want more information, there's the direct contact buttons. There you go, right on that site.
Am I going to annoy you if I call you?
No. We love to chat to people, and definitely not. And I love to be able to go through and find out that they have an outstanding policy in place and leave that there, and just build on what you've got. There would nothing please me more. I'm not going to take an auto policy that's working for someone and change it. I would love to be able to just build on the success that you have in place and tell you, great job, this is awesome. Or your 401k, you've got built from here. Let's build on that success. I want to help you build towards your financial health from here. I don't want to undo or redo the good work that you've already done. I want to help you build onto that. So that's not a problem. Anyway, I know people fear that they're all going to hear your insurance agent is just going to say, "Oh, that's awful." Who's the last person that gave you a haircut? No, that's not how it works. I want to build success.
That's what it feels like so often, though, when you talk to someone who's a financial advisor or who is an insurance agent or something else, because all they've got is to sell you on something, and they have to try to sell what they have rather than always necessarily finding out what's right.
Well, I think that's why having such a broad palette of products works, because I probably have that same product that they've got. So there's no pressure for me to replace it. There's no pressure for me. I'm not stuck with just Allstate products and have to move it into Allstate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you say Allstate. I feel like I need to deepen my voice just a little bit further.
Yeah. That guy has a cool voice, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and to springboard off of Karyn's comment, 2 times this week, I told somebody, look, you've got your situation handled. I don't need to help you. And they didn't have anything
to change
that was mine. But I left there, and, she called me a little bit later, and she said, I like that you were that way, and you want to come back. And I said, you know what? Even if I come back, I can't help you. So it's not something that I'm going to sit there and force on you, or Karyn is going to sit there and force on you. If we can help you, we will. If we can save you money, we'll suggest it. If we can't, gosh, let's leave friends. Some salesmen are so in your face. So Karyn won't do this, so I'll do it for her. Karyn's phone number is 360-970-8808, and Karyn is spelled with a Y. If you look there on the screen, Karyn at MagenHarbor.com. And
it's 8807.
Did I give you the wrong number?
Yep.
Oh, okay. 360-970-8807. Did I not say it? Anyway, it's 360-970-8807. And the key is, and I don't care if you use us, I care that you get the solutions in your life customized to you to handle the situations where you are. Hopefully, we provided some of those answers or some of those thoughts today.
That's good.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing your stories and the contact information and how to get a hold. There's a question here.
Yeah. Crypto markets. So crypts, those are like the dead people, right?
Well, cryptocurrencies are an exploding picture. What I will say with regard to those is, when you invest, you have a piece of your portfolio that is variable, meaning it's gonna be able to grow or take a loss and isn't going to kill you. Make sure that what you put into crypto is that way. Some people think it's going to flatten out. Some people think it's going to go. I'll leave that to the experts, but proportion your portfolio so that you can handle a gain or a loss in that area. I personally, I like the market. I don't know how volatile it's going to be, but I could say that about Caterpillar or Mutual of Omaha just as easy when I put the money in the stock market for them. So,
all right.
I'm so stupid. I'm thinking about a caterpillar on my finger.
Oh gosh. Well, one of the things that comes to mind, and it's really a something that we live by here at John L. Scott, and that's living life as a contribution. It sounds like you guys are doing that within your insurance as you're really providing a service to help people and contribute to, the knowledge and the lifestyles that they're living in their need. But you guys, like, even outside of the insurance and financial walls, living life as a contribution actually has a meaning there as well, where you're actually really truly giving back. Tell us a little about what Magen Harbor does for the communities that they serve, or that you serve. I said they, it's you.
While we are starting a nonprofit, we've been serving in the community as a food resource for more than a year now. And about 40 to 50 family food boxes, it's about 200 food boxes, 40 to 50 families are being fed right now through our food resource. And we just decided that we actually have to go on to pursue a 501. We can't just wing it anymore. We actually have to make it official. And so yeah, we're really active in the community with our food resource. And we've been serving on the board with that. It's a full day, a day and a half out of our schedule. So yeah, it's a commitment, but it's so cool because we've just seen people come and seek us out to do business because of the philanthropy stuff that we're involved in. And so it's just been really, really cool.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of boxes to pack every week. Yeah. Saturday, Davina knows, I go, oh, my back's hurting.
So you guys have, as this is growing, because it didn't start off at this, and this is like grassroots and looking at how many more people you can serve, that there's a need. And when you say community, what areas right now are you helping with food deliveries?
From Tacoma clear down to the Wejemark area is about the furthest south that we have delivery right now. But we're taking things into homeless camps and people that can't get to the traditional food bank. When you have to go wait 4 hours in a line, you may not be able to take time off of work. The traditional food bank idea isn't working for everybody, or you don't have a car. So the food resource idea is just a new take on the food bank, and it's meeting the needs of a lot of people who just can't get food or get to the food bank. And the list is just getting longer and longer every week.
So this is more Karyn's baby than mine, but I really want to take a moment to say some things about Karyn with regard to this. She has done a tremendous job through her church initially, and then by herself as it grew. And she's working with her church right now prior to us getting the paperwork filed for the 501c3, and we're going to do the same thing in Illinois.
That's right.
But if you want to either volunteer or donate to that effort, whatever it is, donations don't have to be monetarily. They can be, but they don't have to be. If you want to donate some cans or something like that, get a hold of Karyn. Again, 360-970-8807 or Karyn at magenharbor.com. And she's just the type of person you want to be around. I know she's been my friend for a long time, but those are the type of people that you can't get enough of in this world. And I want to say that to her. So,
oh, thanks.
That's great.
Well, ultimately, it's always about service, and we just crossed over, and that's incredible. You're doing it, but you know what? For our trivia question, and if anybody has a heart to serve and wants to join in, they should definitely hop in on that. But we have a question, and Rob, this question almost has two parts to it because according to a survey on estate planning, what percentage of adults in the U.S. currently have a will or living trust that will hold up when challenged in court? And if we left without just challenged in court, it would be one answer, just whether they have it or not. But then the question is, how many of those will actually hold up in court?
Yeah, and the answer is 25% of those will actually hold up in a court of law if they are challenged. Now, having a will on a piece of paper is good, but having it drafted by an attorney is something. And right now we're getting into a period in time where you need to have two things associated with that: is a durable power of attorney and a healthcare directive. That means when you say healthcare directive, everybody says, well, what's that? Well, I don't want to be left on a machine very long, if at all. So that just tells the doctors and the nurses and everybody involved, including your loved ones who don't want to make that decision, you make that decision for them and document it. Yeah. So that's an important piece to have.
Because it's an interesting thing. The answer to like how many have a will or living trust is 42%, but only 25% have one that'll hold up. Nearly half of the people who have a will or living trust have one that'll actually stand up in court.
Challenge. Right.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And that actually ends up being, I was trying to do, my, elementary math brain. I don't even know if I'm right, but it sounds like only like 10% of the population even have a will that would stand up in court. That's wow. Yeah.
And if you look at, so rich people can hire lawyers and attorneys, so they don't think about it. They just do it. They all have those things in place. Now, it's the percentage of people with, over $5 million in net worth that have a will or trust is huge.
So it depends on your earning and your income actually has a lot to do with, or your net worth has a lot to do with if you're going online and you're saying, okay, I'm going to go ahead and fill this will out. Looks good versus hiring someone to help do that. Right. Interesting.
Yeah. So and even on that, I think a lot of times it can be just a thought, a mindset, because when you say rich, someone just above the earning line of one person feels like they're rich to that person that might be living below that line. Mm-hmm. Everybody comes at it from a different side. And I'm sure there are a lot of people that end up missing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So awesome. And this was just a comment from the actual crypto market
question.
Question in regards to, I guess you were saying just diversifying your funds and making sure that you keep don't put all your eggs in one basket is kind of the right.
I keep about 10% under my mattress, 3% in a jar in the closet.
And the other thing is, back to the wills for a second. People don't understand what they have. And so I use the example of that little old lady with she had the audacity to recover. She also had a Picasso in her bedroom that she had picked up at, a house sale or something. I said, is this an original? And she said, well, I don't know. And so I told her, let's have somebody look at it. So we literally had an art dealer come out and look at it, and it was an original. So it wasn't one of his more worth, but it still was worth, $75,000. So now we have net worth that you didn't even know, and we all have something in our house that's worth a lot of money, and it might not be something that we understand is worth a lot of money. So you want to have that will. place.
That's a plug for Gary Vaynerchuk. Goes and does garage sales all the time, does trash talk. That's your whole cause for going out to the garage sales.
Yeah.
You never know when you're going to find your Picasso.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, we are out of time, and we are just very thankful that you spent the time with us today. Again, if anyone has any questions, they can reach out to you guys directly. There is the website that's been posted, also Karyn's phone number that has been posted as well in the comments. And so we just thank you again. And we'll be definitely reaching out to you as well. And here in the near future. And also, if you have a need or just want to could be a contribution to the community as well, and maybe be some boots on the ground, Karyn is definitely taking those calls as well to get those food deliveries out. So thank you so much, you guys, for joining in. It's been fun.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. We're gonna I think we're just gonna end up closing out. We have a few updates if you guys want to hang out to the end, or if you want to continue on your day. It's totally up to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Just a couple things to close out with. I think first one is probably tomorrow. If you've ever been interested in a career in real estate, we have something for you. It's called Career Night. You will learn how to be a real estate agent, all the things to be a successful real estate agent, delivered to you with a smile.
Especially if you're, well, it's either you or Steve are going to be bringing that on tomorrow. So it'll be fun.
And keeping it real estate, this is a marketing branding class, and you do not have to already know what it is right here. This is a 1 hour session that will help you understand what it is. So if you've been curious about getting engaged in social media, but you were afraid or you weren't sure if it was right for you, this might be the confidence that you need to go out and do the bold thing. Take a step forward out of your comfort zone.
Yep. Kudos to Maggie Gillespie for creating that branding class as she is working into her workshops.
Yeah. Tomorrow we have our business meeting from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. All the news that you need delivered to you again with a smile. And is that it? Oh, Forms Friday. Yeah. Do you want that one?
Sure. Our forms have changed with the MLS, and even as we have been, real estate professionals, is understanding what the forms are. And we have a Forms Friday class that's led by Steve. Join in. It's open to everyone. If you just want to get a little nugget and understand some of the new forms that we'll be going over, then join in Friday. It's Zoom from 9 to 10 o'clock.
Yeah, super important with all the revisions. If you're in real estate and you don't understand what some of those revisions are, tune in. We will help you through the process.
And then Jordan and I will be back.
Back again on Friday for the Talent Market Update. All the news you can use.
Yep. So it'll be fun. We'll continue to just think about you guys throughout the week. And also, as you are going throughout your day, we end this with a couple of words that are very meaningful to us, that we end every broadcast with, we end every meeting with. I have to tell you, I was at church and we did our huddle, and I'm like, we need to say, be bold, so it's like, it's such a powerful word when we really think about, stepping outside, living outside of our comfort zone. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Just do what is right and what is going to really move the needle and move life forward for you, and helping others. And, if it makes those hairs on your arm raise, then that's probably something that you need to really lean into. We're going to end it with a be bold, and we count it up to 3. And Karyn and Rob, if you want to put your power hands up when we say be bold, that would be awesome too. And Jurgen, you want to count us down?
Here we go. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Be bold.
Be bold.
Bye. Love y'all.
Bye, you guys. Have a great week.